Hey, what's going on everyone? Matthew from therighttrader.com back today with another daily crypto update. I'm going to go over some big IOTA news, which is actually pushing prices higher for IOTA, up 11% over the past 24 hours. And as far as the general market is concerned, we are seeing a nice little rebound. I think that for the most part, we have most likely avoided any kind of bigger drop that would push us down to, for example, for Bitcoin, down to $5,000. Of course, there is still a slight chance of that happening, but we would need to see, much more of a breakdown for that to really happen. Because at this point, it looks like we have, start to go back up a bit. And that brings me to my next point, which is that I do think that we have some pretty big resistance ahead. And I don't think that this should be taken in a bearish way because, resistance is normal. It's completely natural. And I think that we will be able to get above those resistance levels, but maybe not the first time around, right? Maybe it'll take 2 or 3 tries trying to get back above those resistances before it actually happens. And that's key there. So, of course, we're going to talk about it for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies during the technical analysis part of this video. But overall, crypto markets definitely looking much more bullish than just a few days ago. And to talk about that IOTA news that I was mentioning, so like you can see, 11% over the past 24 hours, IOTA has been announcing a lot of partnerships and has really been moving nicely as far as the project is concerned, has been advancing nicely. And the price hasn't really seen that same, positivity, right? Which is not uncommon. Often news and the price don't necessarily correlate how people tend to think it is. It actually tends to be almost inverse effect due to that kind of buy the rumor, sell the news that happens in the marketplaces. And here we can see that Norway's largest financial services group, DNB, teamed up with IOTA to explore the economy of things and my data. So this is, just a new announcement in a series that IOTA has had. They announced their Trinity wallet a few days ago. So a lot of stuff going on, big partnerships, and overall that's just great to see. And I'm happy that the price is reacting positively this time around because it deserves to, right? It has been moving nicely as far as the projects are concerned. And I think it'll really be able to continue to act like this a bit better if it keeps up with these great announcements. So don't forget to follow me on Twitter for live cryptocurrency market updates. I've actually been much more active on that again. And, I basically give you my thoughts on the crypto markets in real time. So there'll be a link to that in the description of this video. Make sure to follow me there for those live updates. And let's get started with the Bitcoin technical analysis. So overall, we have broken out of the short-term downtrend as far as Bitcoin is concerned. And what you have to pay attention to is that we are coming up already on some resistance at around $7,700. You can see these longer upper wicks right here, which means that buyers aren't able to get just a huge breakout. And moving forward, we'll have a lot of resistance at around $8,000, right? We have our middle band, we have our previous uptrend line, and the $8,000 mark, which are all 3 big resistance levels. And that's why I think that the first time that we come and test that level, there's a pretty high chance that we don't end up breaking above it, right? That will probably come back a bit lower, pull back a bit, consolidate, maybe test it 1 or 2 more times, and then get that breakout, right? So that also makes sense because I said that often, the MACD, the first time that we're trying to get back above the orange line, it usually fails. And, second time, much more likely that it actually goes through. That's what happened back here. Very common pattern. Almost every time, the first time that you get that test, it fails, and that makes sense with the resistance that we have ahead. So not necessarily a bad thing, just something to be aware of, and I think, to be prepared if that happens. Once again, not financial advice, just my personal opinion. But with that being said, as soon as we're able to, get back above $8,000, that's going to be a very good sign. And if in the shorter term we are able to get back above this uptrend line, which would put us back in this channel between these 2 pink trend lines here, that's going to be a very bullish sign. So I would be very happy if that were to happen, but it may take a little bit longer than expected at this point. So we'll just have to see how we start acting over the next few weeks. Let's go ahead and take a look at Ethereum now. So Ethereum coming up on that $600 resistance level. And once again, I mentioned Bitcoin in more detail because Bitcoin is at the end of the day kind of the market leader, right? Bitcoin has to kind of get through those resistance levels first and show that bullishness for other cryptos to follow in most cases. And that's why, Bitcoin getting back above $8,000 will be significant. But for Ethereum, coming up on $600, pretty similar price action to Bitcoin, in fact, and, nice bounce on that 30 line on the RSI. Once again, it will be the first time of the MACD, attempting that crossover above the orange line since the downtrend. And I think we could see a little bit of a bounce above $600, maybe test that middle band. But the fact of the matter is, probably not going to get back above $700 until at least a few more weeks, right? At least 2-3 more weeks until we start getting back towards that $700 mark. Definitely think we need a little bit more consolidation here, and probably going to wait on Bitcoin a little bit, but Ethereum is one of the stronger cryptocurrencies out there. I'm not going to deny that. Litecoin, not looking too bad. We managed to stabilize at around $120, but we have not been seeing the same type of bullishness as we have on Bitcoin and Ethereum charts. So we're definitely coming back up on the indicators, and I think the price will follow, probably up to the middle band at around $130. But we do have a lot of resistance there. I should go ahead and put in that resistance level actually. So would not be surprised to see, some pullback or some difficulties getting back above $130. And even if we do, right, we'll have to wait a little bit longer before getting back above $145. Let's go ahead and take a look at Nano, which has been sitting right around 55,000 Satoshis. So it does look like we really have avoided a drop below 50,000 Satoshis, which is already very good. At this point, it's probably going to hang around this level a little bit longer, hopefully get back above 60,000 Satoshis. That would put us in a much more safer position. That would tell us that we're not really going to see any kind of bigger drop. But for now, it looks like we've most likely avoided that in the first place. So let's go ahead and take a look at Ripple, see what's going on. We're going to go over to the Bittrex chart. And Ripple is starting to inch back higher towards 65 cents. A lot of resistance there. We have our middle band as well. And indicators coming back up nicely, actually. So we'll see. I think that we will probably manage to test 65 cents within the next few days. And then we're probably just going to trade around that level for the next, 2 to 3 weeks, because we're really coming in a pretty tight range here. So unless, the whole crypto markets jump higher due to some news or something, and news right here, a news catalyst would be pretty big and would really help cryptos move in a more clear direction. But if we don't get any kind of big news catalyst, we'll probably, just consolidate some up and down price action for a little bit longer. Let's go ahead and take a look at NEO, see what's going on. So we're going to go over to the Bittrex chart once again, and NEO is coming up on its middle band, which is at around $57. So we've actually stabilized quite nicely, and we put in a higher low compared to the previous one back here, which is very bullish, right? That actually creates a new little uptrend, which we can't deny. So we want to make sure that we stay above this slight uptrend line, but very good sign nonetheless. And we're starting to cross above the orange line on the MACD, which is very good. We did that there, and it didn't really pan out as well as we would have expected, which is pretty common, like I said, for those first-time crossovers. But I do think that we're going to end up retesting $60, basically trading right in this range between our pink uptrend line and that $60 mark before we're ready to break above $60. Let's go ahead and take a look at our next crypto. Moving forward with Stellar Lumens next, we can see that we're coming up on that 4,000 Satoshi resistance level. We're actually looking much stronger than most cryptocurrencies out there. We have increasing buying volume. We got that positive crossover on the MACD and histogram. All the indicators coming back up. So definitely looking quite strong here. Now, we will probably have to wait on other cryptocurrencies a little bit longer, because our our upper Bollinger Band is actually contracting towards the price, and same thing with the lower Bollinger Band. So that does lead me to think that we're going to see a little bit of consolidation here. So probably a bit of a pullback back towards, at least the more middle area of this range, maybe back towards 3,800 Satoshis. Basically just waiting up for other cryptocurrencies to catch up. And I do think that it will be one of the first cryptocurrencies, however, to start moving back above its all-time highs, right? It has been leading the way a bit, even in the past here where we had our run-up. So definitely been showing some positive signs, and I think it will be able to do so even more once the whole market is ready to move higher. Let's go ahead and take a look at Vertcoin next, see what's going on. So Vertcoin is still resting around its $1.54 resistance level. We still are a little bit above that, and we did make a higher low compared to back here, which is good. Not any kind of huge jump though, but I think that over the next week or so, we will probably come and test that middle band, maybe even go up to $2, maybe even $2.20 at best. But I think that we will probably get towards that area over the next 2 to 3 weeks, and then just hang around $2.20, waiting for the Bitcoin and the general market to start moving higher as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at Lisk now, see what's happening. So going over to the Bittrex chart, we can see that Lisk is trying to break out of its downtrend. This downtrend has been going on for quite some time, and we've made multiple attempts now. So I do think that we're going to manage to actually get that breakout this time around. Basically within the next few days, start moving back towards that middle band and even that $10 mark. And hopefully, over the next 2 to 3 weeks, we might even be able to get back a little bit above $10 and start trading in between $10 and $12. But whatever the case may be, I do think that we're going to break out of this downtrend line within the next few days and basically, at least stabilize or maybe even move slightly higher from there. Let's go ahead and take a look at our next crypto, which is going to be Cardano, see what's going on. So moving over to the Bittrex chart here once again, we're going to take a look at what's happening. So Cardano, 3 massive green candlesticks, a lot of buying volume, got that positive crossover on the MACD and RSI. Now, it looks like we are coming up on that 3,000 Satoshi level. I think that we are going to face some resistance there, right? Once again, one of the cryptos that's doing a little bit better than others, kind of leading the way with stellar lumens. But I still think that, our Bollinger Bands aren't ready to allow for a bigger move higher. And that means that we will probably still consolidate, around this level, probably where our middle band is at, which is at around 2,800 Satoshis, right? So basically a little bit under 3,000 Satoshis. And once again, once the rest of the market is ready to move higher, I really think that'll be able to capitalize on that. Let's take a look at our last cryptocurrency of the daily crypto update, which is going to be IOTA. And IOTA, of course, got some bullish news today. It's reacting positively to that. And we got that positive crossover on all the indicators, looking quite strong here and a lot of buying volume. So definitely think we're going to come and test, $1.91, maybe even $2 within the next 2 weeks or so. But we may have to wait on other cryptos to, get that push that'll, really allow us to move back towards $2.63. The one thing that IOTA may have over other cryptos is all those positive news announcements. We may get something that actually ends up pushing us to $2.63 before other cryptos are ready to move, much higher. So definitely looking good here. With that being said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.